Welcome to the DevReady podcast. I have Adrienne joining me on an episode of the DevReady podcast today. Welcome, Adrienne.
Hi there, Anthony. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on. I'll let you introduce yourself so I don't stuff anything up.
I'm sure you wouldn't. Hi, I'm Adrienne McLean from the Speakers Practice, and I help service professionals and experienced experts to promote their business and get themselves known through a business development process and public speaking skills. It's not always easy, and service professionals can be absolute experts in their field, but when it comes to the marketing and sales side, it's another matter, and that's where the Speakers Practice helps.
So, with those sort of experts that start and want to branch out on their own, do you see probably a huge difference between ones that are maybe in like salesy roles as opposed to the actual technical or the doers?
Look, if you've got a sales experience, that's going to really help you navigate the business development process. It really is. It is important to understand the business development process, and that's where I became absolutely fascinated in how it works, because it isn't only sales and it isn't only marketing. It's a combination of a whole process that takes people from being aware of your product or service right through to actually realising the sale. So would you like me to describe how it works?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so people will become aware of your business through your marketing activities, and then they'll come and they'll check you out. And what they do is they check out the foundation of your business. They look for who you help, who's your ideal client. They'll look for they'll find you in where you're doing your marketing, so where you're targeting your marketing. They'll look if you understand the really big issues that they're facing at the time, and then they'll look for the solutions that you offer. And then they look for that sort of number one big result that you bring to your customers. The important part is the value that they'll get out of working with you. So this is the benefits of working with you from a financial, emotional, physical and spiritual perspective. Then they'll look at your branding and they'll think, does this person understand me? Do I connect with them? And with the branding side, I use an example of engineers that are really process-driven and highly professional, and compare them to creatives who are all colour and new and amazing. So your branding will talk about through images and words who you are and what you're all about. So, and the final piece of this foundation is how you talk about what you do, and that includes all those things: your ideal client, your target market, your the problems, the solutions, the number one big result, and the benefits of working with you. And so how you talk about what you do is so integrally important. So the customer has come, they've looked at your foundation, and then they will give you an element of trust. They'll give you a phone call, they'll give you an email address, and they'll get into your system. And then they move into what we call Module 2, which is all about building trust and credibility. Because, Anthony, the big problem with buyers is that buyers don't want to buy when the business owner wants them to.
Of course.
And that's the big issue. So it's the business owner's job to keep in touch with their prospects, the leads that they've got through their marketing, and it's their job to keep in touch and to build trust and credibility with these with these prospects. They're valuable. They've cost you money to get them into your system, and they're valuable. And how do you build trust and credibility? So there's credibility builders, but credibility builders include your website, any flyers you have, any certificates that you have, and any associations that you belong to, and all even customers, if you like to show your customer base. All those people and associations, etc., build a credibility. Then your product range, your sales process and your sales products are also part of this. And then the one that I think that business owners struggle with a lot is how to keep in touch with their prospects and their clients. And this is vital, a regular update to your prospects via a newsletter, via one-on-one conversations, depending on the business, is really important. Running free events is, or running events is also, whether they're free or they're paid, is really, really useful for keeping your business front of mind. And that is the key, because people buy on emotion. Remember the 4 benefits. People buy on emotion. So when somebody is really emotionally charged about a real issue that they're having in the workplace, they're looking for solutions. And so if your business is front of mind, then they'll know to go to you. The final part of building trust and credibility is any information products, and this wonderful podcast is one of those. And we can raise our awareness of what we're doing, keep in contact with our prospects and clients by doing podcasts, creating videos. It's all around that content marketing piece, and it's so really important from all sorts of avenues, such as the person, the prospect, and keeping the business front of mind, but also on digitally through YouTube or through Google. They're both owned by the same company.
Yep.
So by keeping your by doing regular content, it keeps you up on the search engine. And if you use LinkedIn, then it does the same thing. So those that content marketing is so very important around building trust and credibility, as it really does display you as an expert in your field. So then the prospect has been seeing you, and then suddenly this urgent need, they've got to get this fixed. It's or bust or whatever. So they've got to get it fixed. And so if you're front of mind, they'll know to either give you a call, or you will be calling them, and you'll be able to have more of a deeper conversation. And this is where you go into pricing and sales. And so the pricing, if you've done your research and you know your pricing, and your pricing is appropriate for the product that you have, then and then if you can have a sales conversation, then you'll book the business. And the process starts again. So it goes from marketing, checking out the foundation, building trust and credibility, pricing and sales. And this is the business development system, and it's a program that I'm accredited with, which is called Book Yourself Solid. And you can go onto Amazon and find various publications there, and there's a lot of YouTube videos on that.
Okay, it's very comprehensive, and it's really from start to finish of the whole process, which I can see how that provides benefit to someone who's had a career in an industry and then trying to branch out on their own, because a lot of those items they would never be exposed to.
Yeah, that's right. Well, if you're working in IT and you're a software developer, the marketing and sales is done in another department, or silo they call it now. It's siloed off, and so you might have some interaction, but you don't actually have day-to-day activity in that area. So when you get this great idea to start your own business as a software developer, you've really got to go and do some work to learn and understand the marketing and sales side.
Yeah, having the business sense and probably a solid business is beyond just being able to deliver a product or one service well. Again, nurturing, marketing, sales, following up after as well, keeping the relationships going.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the biggest things that causes issues with the success or not of a business is we come up with great products, and we've all done it. I've done it. I've come up with a great product, but actually doing the work. And this was before I did start with Book Yourself Solid. Without doing that foundational work of understanding who your ideal client is and where you're going to find those clients, they're the two biggest issues. And as a business coach, that's where business coaches look first, and they delve into that incrementally to the minutiae of it to find out who it is that this product would really suit. And the more that you understand what your customers are wanting and the words that the customers use, the better you actually connect with your ideal client. So your words then are really meaningful because you know what they're experiencing, and that's really really valuable.
Yeah, once you can articulate and put that experience out to people and understand, all right, this is how we communicate to this audience because this is the target market for this product or a different product. Or you may have several different targets, but then the message is fine-tuned for each one.
Yes.
Yeah, so once you understand that, it becomes powerful.
Yeah.
So when I was initially found and reached out to yourself to join the podcast, I saw that you do a lot on probably speaking as well and helping people communicate. Yeah. How does that come into it?
Well, I attended a conference in 2018, and the conference was an entrepreneurial conference at the Australian Catholic University at North Sydney, and it was a wonderful day. They had lecturers who were entrepreneurs. They had business owners, and they actually had the CEO of Estee Lauder. So she's the granddaughter of Estee Lauder. And I was just so excited after this day, and I've talked about it ever since, because what the upshot of the day was that they said that the three biggest things that businesses have trouble with is marketing, personal selling, and asking for the sale. And those are a combination of the business development system, Book Yourself Solid, and public speaking skills. And I've spent 20 years or more working on my public speaking skills, and I got such a boost of confidence that I wanted to bring this to business owners. I've got a small business background myself, and I thought, well, if people are going to communicate their message, their business message, they've really got to be able to give sales presentations, able to talk to clients confidently about their products. And so it was the start of my journey trying to combine presentation and public speaking skills with business development. And there's this word digital marketing, and I just wish that there was a word that combined presentation skills with business development, because with it, it will be fantastic. The closest that we get is personal selling. And if you have ever experienced this when somebody says, "Oh, you've got to go and do this. This is going to be, you'll be perfect. You'll be able to go and crash this. It'll be fantastic." And then you go, "Oh, I can't do that. That's impossible. I wouldn't be able to do that. No way." And this is the toing and froing and being comfortable in what you do, and then being experiencing the discomfort of going into new territory. And this is the whole big area that business owners face when they have an expertise. They're experts in their field, but then they're put into situations where they've never experienced it before, and then they reel back and go, "Oh, I can't do that." And I've actually got a book, you can find this on Amazon. It's Think Bigger, Grow and Succeed. And I've done about 45 interviews and we asked, it's all about thinking bigger about who you are and what you offer the world. Mm-hmm. And I asked them around the benefits of being comfortable or going into discomfort, and what discomfort means, and around goal setting, and how do you achieve your goals. And the book has 19 business executives, professionals in their field who have started their own business, who are have navigated these areas themselves. And it's an easy read, but it's a really big topic about the going. You've got to, as a business owner, you've got to live with being in discomfort and challenging yourself and going into new pastures, because that's the way that you'll grow the business.
Well, I think that probably aligns with how they say, if you're not growing, you're dying. Like, you have to grow and change, otherwise everyone else is doing that around you and you're going to fall behind.
Yeah, if you're not growing, you're not earning.
Yeah. That as well. There's probably a few more of those sayings that, but it all makes sense with, how do you drive yourself forward? So putting yourself in those uncomfortable areas while you're an expert in something, you can do that, and then being able to put yourself into other ones makes it very different.
Yeah.
And
can I just talk about a couple of programs that I've got coming up?
Yeah, no problems.
Yes, look, I'm going to be launching a program called Expert Speak and Expert Accelerate. And these two programs, they're 6-monthly programs, are guiding professionals, experienced experts through creating their own presentation to promote their business, Expert Speak, and helping them to navigate the business development program or process with Expert Accelerate. And we're just launching those.
Cool. I'm sure they'll give someone some benefit if they check them out.
Yeah.
So with the probably going out into your comfort, out of your comfort zone, experiencing the discomfort, do you find that a lot of that stems from, if they're specialists in a certain field and what they've been working in, they've never had to be that public facing person or have to create content, and that's where probably the biggest discomfort or fear comes from?
Yeah. Well, absolutely, Anthony. Absolutely. There are business owners that don't like to get in front of a camera. They will shy away. They'll hide behind people. They will suddenly, be missing. And they're the business owner, and they're the people that navigate the business. And so you've really, my work is really around helping those business owners to be comfortable to be the face of the business. And it's so crucial because they're the ones that are going to do the final sale. They're the ones that are going to navigate this business development journey. You can't You can have BDMs, but the BDMs will always be navigated by the business owner. And so the business owner has to be front and centre to support all the business activities that are going on. It's crucial, and having the business owner speak about the business is a credibility builder. Having the business owner in the about page of the website is a credibility builder. Seeing their background and their experience, why they're experts in their field, and they have to have a photo, and finding good photographers is really useful. They can bring out the best in people and make people feel comfortable in front of the camera, even if they don't particularly like being there.
Yep. So having that, how do you get people to not just take the photos, but be able to create that content and get in front of the camera? So I know it depends on whether you want to scale the business or you want to be the face of the business. So whether if they're new and they want to be the face, what sort of advice do you have to get someone to get out there? I should probably phrase it that way.
Well, I mean, it does depend on if they want to be the face of the business. They don't necessarily need to be the face of the business, but they can be in a very high supportive role within the business. Mm-hmm. So that you don't see the CEOs of banks, being the face of the bank every day of the week. You see happy families and or however what you want to describe that scenario. So you'll see the CEO speaking to the news about the specific issue. And so they've got to have a skill set. They've got to be ready to be able to speak to camera. And that's another area that we haven't spoken about yet, but speaking to camera and creating video is a whole new skill set, and it is learnable. You can get comfortable in front of a video camera, and it is just about practice. And so video content is really valuable for displaying products, for talking about expertise, or talking about the product, or talking about the problems around what the product delivers. So video can be a really big asset, and YouTube is just going gangbusters. So.
Yep. I think it's for those video skills, or probably all the skills, it's all a matter of just practice and experience. The more you do it, the better you get, the more comfortable you get.
Yes.
But you do sort of need to cover, say, podcast if you need audio, because people like to listen when they're driving or doing something. If you've got something valuable, say video, people consume videos, and then there's articles. So people consume things in different ways and take knowledge. So having the three of those areas is probably quite useful as well. I think I was one of those people that didn't like being in front of the camera, and then over time I've learned I didn't like the sound of my voice when it was played back on recordings, and that stopped me from doing recordings all the time.
You've got a beautiful deep voice.
Thank you. And then eventually I realized, I know I read that somewhere one day, I've mentioned this before, the things that are holding you back are you're the only one who notices and no one actually cares. Once I read that, and then the next day I started making videos.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, and then we've been making videos and podcasts for years now. But it's just having content and, like you said, being top of mind is very important. That's the whole strategy, I think. You're not going to convert with a sale from one piece of content. No. It's just being present. Do you see that some people expect things to happen quickly with the content? As like we just mentioned, it's one thing and then something should happen, or is it you have to understand that it's a long game?
It's a long game. And Tony Robbins said once at an event I was at, he said that it used to be that you needed to have 6 touch points. Now it's somewhere over 16.
Oh well.
So it's incredible the amount of work that you need to do to realise the sale. There's a very important quote from Book Yourself Solid that Michael Port says. There's a very important quote, and he says that you're only able to sell to the amount of trust that you've earned. So if you've ever been contacted by someone on email or LinkedIn or somewhere, and they say, oh, here, buy this now, delete.
Yeah, it doesn't happen quickly. You don't walk up to someone and ask them to marry you straight away. There's a whole process. There's a getting to know each other, going on dates. There's a whole thing that builds up. Yeah, so it is a tricky thing to do, especially if you've never been in that space and you're coming out as an expert.
I used to do community radio, and I did that for 5 years.
Oh, well, that would have been an experience.
Oh, it was wonderful. I loved it. Yeah. We interviewed people in the community, and I got to know them very well.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good thing to do, especially with the community.
So we were talking about video and the importance of video.
Yeah, and the different content. So having that constant touch point helps you get to those 16 touch points, I'm assuming. Then, and it doesn't matter what sort of content it is, as long as they're seeing you that 16 times as a baseline, if we say.
Yes, and if they connect with you and they like you're talking around their issues, and it's valuable what you're saying. You've got to give, and don't worry about giving information, because it will connect with them, and they'll want to experience working with you more, and that's what you want to develop.
Yeah, I find it's a good tool as well, that it filters out the people that don't like you.
Yeah.
So you don't go through those conversations because they're already seeing your content. If they don't like you or they think there's something wrong, then they're not going to approach you. So you get less of those tire kickers, almost.
Yes, that's true. They if they don't connect with you, they'll move on, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It's a big world. You have to think of the world as being abundant.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking for your ideal client, and if they don't like you, they're going to be really hard to work with.
Yeah.
People that in Book Yourself Solid World, we have a red velvet rope policy. These are the people that energize you and inspire you to do your best work. Now, if they're sort of being critical, if they are looking for holes in what you're doing, if they don't want to pay, if they're just complaining all the time, they're going to be hard work clients.
Yep.
And they don't energize you, and you won't do your best work with them.
No, you'll just complain every time you see an email or a phone call coming. Yeah, when you get to that point where you can choose who you work with, and by putting content out, that helps filter that out. And you're not going to please everyone. You're not going to be friends with everyone. So people get hung up on that a lot. Is like, oh, I'm putting things out there. Everyone has to like it. But that's not the way the world works.
No. So look for your ideal client. So you have your target market, which is a big, and then you have part of your target market.
Yeah,
There'll be a subset is your ideal client.
And they'll gel with you. They'll understand, like you said, they'll energize you. You'll want to do the good work for them, not just they're paying the bills. How fast can I get through it?
Yes.
Yeah. If anyone wants to reach out, Adrienne, and find out more information, how can they do that?
People can find me on LinkedIn. You'll certainly find me there. I've got the Speakers Practice website. There's adriennemclean.com website. You'll see about me. And there's also, I'm running a conference, the Professional Services Marketing Conference, on the 4th and 5th of September. And you'll find out more on that website too.
All right, we'll add those links to the show notes as well, and when we post these on socials, and hopefully someone can reach out and to help their journey from corporate to then stepping out on their own and building their business and building it so they can find those red velvet customers and deliver work that they actually want to.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me, Anthony. It's just been wonderful.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Adrienne.
Okay.
Thank you.